this is Tracy, and we're here with So Fun May 2025. So hope y'all had a great Mother's Day, and we'll show you a few projects you can make to get ready for 4th of July today. So I'm going to start with this cute little project bag. It's just a basic project bag. We all have them, but we all have lots of projects. What's great with this bag is it's kind of like counted cross stitch fabric. So you can do little designs on it. I did not quite get my little seagull finished, but you can do counted cross stitch on this bag, personalize it, and make it your own thing. If you don't want to do counted cross stitch, you can just do basic embroidery, whatever. It wouldn't go so well on the sewing machine unless you have a tin needle, because then you can just slide it in with your open arm thing. But just a cute little project bag that you can personalize with your own stuff. So this is going to be my bag for hand stitching, but just a cute little bag. This next item we have here on the table is, I don't have one of these patterns this month, but you know the Villa Rosa patterns? I love them. I usually do something from them every month. They're those little postcard size patterns. Then we sell them for like $2.50, $3, something like that. This is a cute little box to put them in. So you lift the top off, and all your Villa Rosa patterns will stand up and store inside here. So this is just a great little notion that, you know, those Villa Rosa patterns, since they're little postcards, they tend to get lost. But I love this little tin so you can keep your patterns in it. So this next project I have is the mini sunflower drawstring bag. I love the sunflower on this. And the little bag was super easy to make. A great little project bag again. You can put lots of stuff in it. I used all sorts of scraps for this, and it just went together really quick. But I really love this sunflower. You could put this into wall hangings, make a table runner with a few of these. I just thought this sunflower was just a really pretty thing. And then it's just a basic little drawstring bag. The pattern is called Mini Sunflower. It's by Chrissy Lux, a bunch of, I can't read it, bunch of blooms. But just a really cute little project. It went together really fast. But again, this sunflower is just a really pretty little block. Then I have this month. Last time I did So Fun, I made the tool tote by Penny Sturgis. And this is the little cube. So it's a little bit smaller than the tool tote. And it just turned out adorable. I made this as kind of a little insulated lunchbox sort of thing. So it has little handles on it. You zip this up. The pattern comes with the metal frames, so this will always stay open. I used pull fabric inside, so it'll keep some fabric or the food a little cooler or warm, whichever. I used OD coat for the outside, so I quilted my fabric, then I brushed it with OD coat. Usually you kind of let it dry overnight. I did this yesterday, so there was no overnight drying with it. So I just put it outside on the patio, on the kitchen, or on the patio table, let it dry in the sun for a few hours. It worked perfectly. It dried really quickly that way. And then just sewed this little guy up. It turned out so cute. It'll be perfect. You can put a couple of sodas in here, a few snacks, and keep them cold or hot. And then you just close it up. So that's the little cube by Penny Sturgis and Quilts Illustrated. And I lined the inside, so I used Soft and Stable on the outside and did the quilting on it. But on the inside, instead of using SF101, I used Insulated. It's by the Warm Company, so it's going to keep your food cold or hot. It's great for pot holders and that kind of thing, so I figured it'd be good in a lunchbox also. This next project that I have is fabric buckets by Tamara Kate. And everybody makes all these fabric buckets. They look really cute. They're great to put all your stuff in. So I made a couple of different ones. This comes in like 7 different sizes also. So this one is the medium. I think it's the middle size. They have you use just a couple layers of batting. I think a couple layers of batting is a little bit wimpy. I did a layer of batting, 2 layers of batting on the inside and the outside. So I think it's a little wimpy. I am gonna just kind of make a seam down the side here, just give it a little bit of sturdiness. So then this one wasn't quite as sturdy as I liked. So I used another layer of batting on this one, and it just looks fluffy. It doesn't look as sturdy as I liked. So I'll probably make it again and use Peltex on the inside, or maybe even use some Soft and Stable on it. But it's a good thing. You can put a plant in it. You can put your fabric scraps in it when you don't have time to cut them up into little squares. You can put this in it. When it gets full, cut them up. But I just thought they were really cute little baskets. This one I did a lot of quilting on. This one I didn't. So you can kind of personalize it however you want, make it as fast or quick to sew as you want by not quilting it. But I just think they turned out really cute, and I love how they have all the different sizes. You just have to kind of play with how sturdy you want the sides and what you're gonna do to make it that way. So this next project is called Campfire Goodies by Patchabilities. I love Patchabilities patterns. We've done many of them before in the past, but this one is cute because now instead of having to do all of your own appliquing on Patchabilities, you can buy embroidery designs. So you just do the applique in the hoop instead of having to do it by hand. It has the SVG files, so you can cut them out. It has if you don't have a scan and cut, you can they have all the files on here, so you can trace it out onto Wonder Under and do it that way, or Heat and Bond, Steam a Seam, or fusible applique stuff by Floriani. I'm not sure what it's called. But this took about, it says 30 minutes, but it's 58 color changes. So it's not 30 minutes. Half of those color changes are the placement lines for each piece, so you do have that issue. What's nice with her designs, Patchabilities designs, is all of her placement lines are one color. So every time you see magenta, it's a placement line. Then every time you see Bambino blue, it's the lay your fabric on top of it line. And then you trim an array, and then it does the applique. So I do like that. So if you get a little confused about what you're doing, it's nice that you know magenta or Bambino blue was placement or cutting lines. So that was really nice. And the rest of it, I just think it turned out really cute. It still took about an hour to make, even though it said 30 minutes, but I think it turned out really cute. And it's all scraps, so you can just put a little hanger on the back of it and hang it up in your camper. So this next project I have is the Shade Dress by Chalk and Notch Patterns. This is very reminiscent of when we were kids. I love the tiered skirt. The scoop neck was a little low, so I raised it up about 1 inch. It's still a little low, but it's not bad. They have you put a little cuff and then a little tie on the sleeve. And I'm like, oh, I'm not sure that's what I want. So I haven't finished my sleeves yet. I haven't decided how I'm gonna finish them. Either maybe with just elastic or just a plain cuff instead of with a tie, I'm not sure. And then you can make it as a button down the front or a zipper on the back. I did the button down the front. I bought the fabric at Sobo up in Boulder, who is one of our So Fun sponsors. So it's a little trip to go up to Boulder. Most of us don't live near Boulder, but it's a nice little shop. And they've got all sorts of fabric, but I love the seersucker fabric for that. Just very nice and springy. They had that seersucker fabric in like 4 different colors, and it's just really nice. Went together really quickly. This pattern has you interface the entire bodice, and it's lined. So I just kind of trimmed it down and just interfaced around the neckline and everything, and then down the front where you put your buttons. But I think it turned out really great. I'll be happy to be able to wear it this summer, but it's called the Shade Dress by Chalk and Notch Patterns. So we are going to start featuring in So Fun a foot of a month. You know, we have all these feet that come with your machine that no one even knows half of what they are or what they do. And then there are 30, 40, depending on your machine, even 50 extra feet you can get for your machine. So this book goes over all sorts of feet. So it's a great reference tool. But on my dress, I did pin tucks on the sleeves. So pin tucks are not hard to make. You just use a twin needle. I used a 1.6 width twin needle to make those. My pin tuck foot, I sewed it on my FOF because that's the only machine that I have that has the pin tuck foot with it. And it just turned out really cute, just gives a little bit of flair on the sleeves. But this is a great book that tells you how to use your feet and what to use them with and how to kind of decorate some of your projects with it. So we'll start showing a different foot out of this book each month. Most of the machines will have a foot that correlates with it. Not all machines have all the same feet, but most of them do. So this is a new book you're going to start seeing once in a while. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Sewing Machine Feet. So that's kind of a nice thing. Okay, so this is a quilt kit by Riley Blake. It comes with all the fabric to make these two little quilts. So first I made, so it's called Americana by Riley Blake. So first I made this really cute flag runner. So I think it was like 28 by 56 or something like that. So, ta-da! So it went together really fast. Even though this star looks like it's got a lot of parts and pieces, it does, but it still went together really quickly. You get 3 charm packs and then parts and pieces of all this different fabric. They have very good cutting directions on how to cut everything. So out of the charm packs, it tells you exactly what to cut. It has a little picture of each fabric, so you know what to cut for both mini quilts. So I made both of these in less than one day and then quilted them another day. So here's the star, or the flag. Again, really easy because these are just strips, and this part was not hard, just all half square triangles. And then this is just a little mini quilt. And then it just has little 9 patches here in the center of the stars. So these stars were made by quarter square triangles. So you do your half square triangle, draw the line and all that stuff. And then you cut them apart. Then you layer them backwards, kind of cattywampus onto each other. Sew it again, cut it apart, and then you have a quarter square triangle like that. And then you just sew it in rows. So it went together really quick. And I just think it's so cute. Just really a nice little patriotic thing that you could leave out a lot because it's not necessarily red, white, and blue. So there's that, those 2 projects. So I forgot this little project at home, but we are still continuing our Wander Lane Block of the Month projects. So this was made, there's some little bees, some flowers, and strawberries, and a little honey bee skep thing, honey thing. Just really cute little projects this month. This next project that I have, this book, is Pillow Pops. So there are 25 little pillows you can make in here. And they're not little. These are all like 24, 20-inch pillows. You could also make them as table runners or wall hangings. I pretty much did pillows on all of them. So the first one I did, I have so many marks in here, I'm not totally sure. The first one I did was this little Dresden plate. Remember I did all the Dresden, or the 30s fabrics a few months ago, so I'm still trying to make a few pillows for that little room. And then this one is just kind of a modern little quilt pillow sort of thing. And then there's another one in here that I made somewhere. So I could have made a lot more. These They are great, great pillows. There's really some really cute pillows in here. So the first one here is the Dresden plate. It gives you a little template. Let's cut out your Dresden plate pieces, do the angles. I blanket stitched all of this down, and I just use invisible thread because I did not want the thread showing up, and I did not want to have to change thread for each thing. Then I quilted in between the lines, put my circle on it, and called it good. And then I just made the little pockets here. They tell you how to do the pillow piecing, how to make the pillow this way in the book also. So just a nice little, I think this guy is 20 inches pillow. Then this one is just a cute little quick pillow, and it's made out of the scraps of that quilt. So that quilt is made with a jelly roll, and this pillow is made with some of the scraps from it. So just another way to use up some of your fabric, tie it all in together, and then you have a whole set. This one is also scraps from that quilt. When I made that quilt, there were a lot of these tone-on-tone fabrics in there. I didn't need all of the jelly roll pieces for that quilt, so I pulled out all of the tone-on-tone strips. And then when I was going through this book, I'm like, this will be perfect to make the tone-on-tone, use the tone-on-tone strips to make this pillow. So it's all still coordinated. Then, since I had so much time on my hand, I decided to do, they're calling it big stitching now. I used 12 weight thread and kind of quilted around my squares, my plus signs. And then I have another book that I'm showing for So Fun. It's how to do painting and dyeing on fabric. So I took Inktense pencils, which is a very specific kind of fabric colored pencils, and colored in with those pencils some of these flowers. So instead of being all tone-on-tone, kind of creamy and white, I colored in these flowers so it kind of matches the same colors in my quilt. I think it turned out really cool. I haven't quite finished the pillow yet because you can leave these like it is, or you can do watercolor on it. So you just take a paintbrush, kind of paint around it in a watercolor so it kind of blends it out. And I haven't decided if I want to do that yet or just leave it like this. So we're just leaving it like this for now. So this is just another quilt in that Pillow Pop book. So this quilt here is called the Ruby quilt. It is an experienced beginner quilt. It's made with a jelly roll. It went together really easy. There's not a lot of cutting because it's all jelly roll pieces. You just have two pieces of background kind of fabric, the little blue squares and then the gold background. And you just sew it in rows. It went together pretty easy. Like I said, I had all the leftovers, so I made the pillows with it. But I love how it turned out. It just is bright, sunny, very cute little quilt. You can make it in 4 different sizes: baby, lap, twin, and queen. This one is about the twin size. It's a little bit shorter than the twin size. But I think it turned out really great, and if you've never made a quilt before, this is a good pattern to start with. So then this next book that I have is called Crumb quilts. So Crumb quilts are kind of using up your scraps. And I have lots of scraps. So I thought this would be a great book for me. So there's some really cute things in here. I almost made this one. I started pulling out everything for it, and then I ended up not finishing it. I don't know why. I love this quilt, which is here. I really, really like this one, but I did not get that done either. And then there's one more. I thought this was really pretty. You can't see it very well. It's just all circles. So you sew a bunch of scraps together, cut it out to a circle, applique it onto fabric, and then sew it out. So I thought that was really cute too. So the first one I did, well, the second one I did actually, was this. Made a nice table runner. So I pulled out, I have my scraps in bins. I pulled out my yellow and orange scrap bin. It's all together. And just pulled out one piece, sewed it up. So you start with a square of fabric. I had a 10-inch square of kind of like tissue paper, not fabric. And kind of stick your one piece in the middle. It needs to be 5-sided. It's going to work at best if it's a 5-sided thing. And then just pick up another piece of fabric, sew it onto one of your sides, and keep going. And then you cut it apart into your half square triangles and your centerpiece. They actually had you do all of this part, scrappy, also your leaves and stuff. And I'm like, they're little, I'm not dealing with that. So I just picked a very busy green that I had in my scrap tub and made my leaves and stems all solid, one piece. I think it looks fine that way too. But I just love this little 24 or so inch table topper. You can make it into a pillow, a wall hanging, all sorts of things. But it'll be great on the table. And then this next quilt I made with it is this one here. So it's supposed to look kind of like roses. So you just, again, start in the middle, kind of blow out from there. So I did blue on the top and then green. So it kind of looked like the blue is, the flowers are up in the sky and then the green goes down into the rose bush. I pulled out each of my scrappy bins, so my yellow and orange, my pink and purple, and then my red, and made all the centers of the flowers. I didn't duplicate any of the fabrics. I pulled out the fabrics, sewed it. When I got done with that piece of fabric, I pulled it back in the bin, so I never duplicated it on any of them. Same with the blues. I didn't duplicate any of the blues, but when I got to the greens, I did not have enough to not duplicate those. But what I did was, not all greens are the same color, you know? So I pulled out the ones that were this tone, this darker tone, this lighter tone, put those in piles. And then I kind of just did a bunch out of that and then kept adding, going through all those different piles of greens until all of the green quilts were done, and then just quilted it. I just did some kind of wavy quilting. I saw this on Pinterest, just some wavy quilting, so it looks a little like, you know, going around the edges of the flower petals and stuff. And then just stitching the ditch around my sashing, and that was it. So it went together really quickly. This next quilt is a little wrinkled here in the middle. It's a Peter Pan panel that you can get. We'll have it here for you from Riley Blake. And I just love Peter Pan. It's just a great little movie. And when I saw it, Mallory's like, seriously? And I'm like, of course, I have to have Peter Pan. So I did, it's just a bunch of fabric, put it together into it comes as a kit and you put it together. So you get the panel and all the fabrics around it. I just am kind of doing some custom quilting on it. So in the outside, I did some leaves. On the inside part here, I just did swirly loopies, and I'm gonna just quilt around all the featured things in the center part. But I just thought I love the colors of it. I just love the Peter Pan look. I thought it was a great quilt for anybody. So one other thing I want to show you, when I did those Riley Blake Americana quilts, there is a lot of leftover fabric. You can make a lot with all this leftover fabric. Sometimes you get a kit and there's barely enough to finish things. You have a lot of leftover fabric, so you're not gonna have to worry about, you still wanna cut right, but you're not gonna have to worry about, oh no, I cut this wrong, and now how do I finish this? You have plenty of fabric to work with if you do miscut. So that's all I have for you this month. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we'll see you at the store sometime, and I'll be back again in September. Thanks.
Thank you for joining us today. If you liked what you saw, please make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. We post videos every month, and you can check our past playlists for previous Sew Fun videos. If you do not already have our discount card, make sure you head to one of our stores where you can pick it up. It will get you 20% off all notions at our stores all year long, as well as discounts at other local stores, so check it out.